Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing very well. And I'm your host, Mahbub from School of Entrepreneurship Development. And today's our session is Meet the Global Leader, episode 18. And we are delighted to have our very excellent guest, Kathrine from Norway. She has a vast experience in social entrepreneurship, facilitating and organizing a startup weekend that actually led her to learn a lot about innovation, entrepreneurship, and like Catherine, the objective of our. Let me tell a bit about our organization and the objective of this session before start going to start our with that program. In Bangladesh, there are very few organizations that basically helps and or assist entrepreneurs. So you have lackings in terms of like education sector. There are no programs that can teach like entrepreneurship and some tools. So we came up with the idea to empower young generation to with knowledge, like information, so that we try to share as much as positive stories and journeys of people around the world through our programs. So that's the objective of our program. So we are very delighted and happy to have you with us tonight.
Thanks. That's a great initiative.
Yeah, you're welcome. So can you please tell us a bit about yourself and a bit your university life? What did you study and stuff?
Yeah. So I'm 32 years old from Norway, and I've been working with my startup or my social entrepreneurship project for almost 10 years. And I have a degree in public health. That's what I started with. I graduated as a public health worker in 2011, so that's 10 years ago, and that led me to realizing there's a lot more to be done when it comes to public health, and especially the topic of social inequality of health. I got really into that issue while I was studying. And I wanted to do more about it than I felt was possible to do through work in the government or other sectors. So I wanted to start something that I could maybe spread to several municipalities and to help as many young people as possible. So that was the main idea behind starting Folkelig. I started together with a fellow student.
Wonderful. And when you started your organization, how was the scenario in Norway about like social entrepreneurship? Was it a bit new concept there?
Yeah, it was both public health actually as well, and the social entrepreneurship was not so much
Popular.
Developed, and we combined both of them. So we had some struggles, but recently it has developed a lot. So I think students or people who want to start up something in social entrepreneurship today, they have more resources around them than what we had. But we did have a lot of resources through the startup community. I was really lucky to have that around me when I was trying to start up Folkelig, because as a public health worker, you don't really know that much about entrepreneurships and business development and design and marketing and everything you need to know to start a business. So I learned that through the startup community and also through Startup Weekend, as you mentioned. But I felt like we were a bit off, like we weren't like normal startups. We could feel it from the beginning, like something is not wrong, but we felt a bit different. So when we discovered that there's something called social entrepreneurship, and we also discovered that there's an impact hub here in Bergen where we started, and we got involved in that community as well. It made a lot more sense, and we felt like what we were doing was we were on the right track. But it was a little bit hard in the beginning when you felt like you didn't belong.
Amazing. So basically, why what was the motivation? I mean, before, can you tell us a bit about were you involved with community development or volunteer works during your university?
Yeah, I've always been someone who's taking initiative and starting things and getting involved in stuff. And I think it's more about maybe a personality trait more than anything else. And I don't know, for some social entrepreneurs, there's like a very strong experience you have yourself. Like something has happened to you and now you want to help others. I haven't really had that in my projects, but I have a very strong sense of justice, and I feel like I have to do something about this thing that I think is wrong about social inequality of health, and I want to contribute in the society. And I think developing a social entrepreneur that could contribute in the way we do is a good way for me to use my energy.
No, that's amazing. I mean, is it because, I mean, when you involved with like community before founding your organization, Folk is it, what was your return? I mean, in terms of skill wise, in terms of like respect that you got from your community by being involved with volunteer activities.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I mean, what were the skills you gained or developed by being involved with those kind of volunteer and community development activities, and how those skills helped you in different stages in your organization?
Yeah. So specifically, when I was involved in Startup Week and developing this community around the startup scene in Bergen locally and also in other parts of the world, I learned a lot about how to develop your idea from an initial hypothesis to testing and validating your idea, and doing a lot of research on who's your target group and how do you make a solution that people will actually benefit from. I think that was very important in the beginning to also be a bit more concrete about what we wanted to do, because we wanted to do a lot. So it was like we were all in on everything. So we needed to be a little bit more specific on that. And I learned that through community work. Also just very basic things like the business modeling and the business model canvas and tools like this and concepts of design thinking. And there's so many aspects that are interesting to me, at least, that I can use as tools to create what I feel is important in my business, to create that social change. But also when the social entrepreneurship community started to develop a little bit more in Norway, I could participate in some accelerators that was more specific to social entrepreneurs, and I learned a lot more about measuring results and social results. So you could elevate the project even further to actually have proof that what you're doing is in line with the goals that you've set, and what you say that you're doing is what you're actually doing, and that you don't have any negative effects of your initiatives. For us in Folkly, we work a lot with kids and teaching kids about food and sustainability in after-school programs, and it's very important for us to know that we're on the right track, so we don't educate kids in the wrong direction, and that we can show that this way of doing things is maybe even more efficient and have more impact than what the standard is today. So that's also
Wonderful.
important learning.
Wonderful, because you are working with kids, and it definitely is from the beginning of their stage of their life. They're developing some kind of common sense of like social inequality in health. So can you just a bit tell us about how did you start from ideation to execution of your organization? The stages that you have been gone through, and the challenges, obstacles, and at the end, the impact you have created so far in the community and the result. I mean, how spread it is around your country, nationwide.
So it started with just trying to figure out what is entrepreneurship. How do you develop a business? I think I spent a lot of time doing that and developing a network and participating in some programs that could help us define what we wanted to do. And then a little bit by coincidence, I met this project leader in the municipality here in Bergen that was going to fill a new house, a school building with after school activities. So that was kind of my cue to say, I can join, I can be part of this. We can do something here. And then we got the chance to test a concept that was kind of like a food club for kids after school. And it had really good effects, and kids came every week, and it became bigger and bigger, and we needed to have signups because there were so many kids joining, so we knew it was popular, and then it could also spread to other parts of the city. And if that person in that project leader in the municipality hadn't believed in us from the beginning, we would never have been able to test an idea and validate it that quickly. So I think we would have run around more trying things if it wasn't for that. So that was kind of the beginning of one of the projects that we work with, who's called Smaksverkstedet. And after a while, we also were able to develop an e-learning platform for the instructors that we use for this after-school program, so that we could teach instructors in all parts of the country, so they could also do the same after-school programs around the whole country. So that's what we're doing now. In 2018, we got some funding to test a scaling model to develop it in different parts of the country, because one thing is us doing it here in Bergen, but how does it look if we're in Bergen and we're testing a concept in Oslo? Does it have the same effect? Is it as easy to do when you're not close to the activity? So we've been able to do that with some grants from a foundation. And then we've also, because of these years of experience with developing an after-school program for kids where they learn about food, we were also able to win a tender from the Norwegian Directorate of Health. It came in 2017 to develop an after-school program for kids where they learn about both food, health, and sustainability. So this is like in the school curricula in a way. So a little bit different from our other project, but that gave us a lot of possibilities to also scale things nationwide with the government behind us. So because of our experience with the first project, we were able to win that tender from the government in the next round in 2017 as a pilot. And then the pilot went well, so we were able to also win the new tender to scale the project. That new project is called Matjungelen, or Food Jungle in English. So we're still doing that. We have, I think, 30,000 kids around the country now participating in this program.
It's huge. I mean, 30,000.
Thanks. So it's starting to get a lot of breath in the impact, reaching a lot of kids with important work. But it hasn't been this easy. It sounds like it's easy. You just meet someone and then it happens, and then it's some part of it is maybe you have to be open to some possibilities and see possibilities and not limitations. So those moments happen, and also you need to be a little bit naive to start up, to start something like this, believing it will work out, and also a little bit stubborn, because things will not happen overnight. So we have to spend a lot of years trying and failing and figuring out how things work to be able to get where we are today. So it does take some time.
Definitely, that's really huge. And your colleague, I mean, your company is, yeah, you said it is mentioned in several, also mentioned in several government plans on both education, public health, and sustainability. You have
Yes.
come to a very long way. I mean, you are kind of policy making situation with government, NGOs. That's very amazing. Public and sustainability. This is super. And just to share with our audience, like that. Kathrine was also nominated as a leadership talent from the Norwegian E24 magazine in 2019 for her role as a community builder with Fulfilling. Can you tell us a bit about that particular nomination? It's really huge. I mean, what
Yeah.
was the purpose of this nomination? Why did you get nominated?
Well, I don't know. I don't know who nominated me still. So I hope that it is because I've done a good job showing that it's possible to do something like this, starting a company with the main focus of creating impact, and also having that impact proven in many parts of the country. And I really want to show other people that it is possible to make money doing good. So
Exactly.
that's benefit from these types of nominations. Yeah, very grateful for it.
Yeah, wonderful. And the next question is, you've been working for a bit many years in this sector. What do you think about like the people in your team? They should be like-minded people like you. They should you have to have the common goal. I mean, you all have to have some kind of like-minded people, and they should have to the same dream to achieve. So how do you feel about that? I mean, the
Yeah,
people in your team to do such kind of noble uh, action, to take such kind of noble actions, to fight for the social inequality in health and
mm.
do something good for the community.
Yeah. So that's the thing with when you talk about leadership. It's very important to have people join you for the purpose you're trying to create, right? And the goal that you're trying to make. You need people with you because it's very hard to do it alone. And for me, I think it's good to have people who believe in the same goal, but people who are maybe a little bit different from me, both as personality, but also in competence. So we can fulfill each other with more knowledge than neither of us can as individuals. So in my team, we have uh, one with the public health background, the same as me, but also one on communication and one on business development and sales. So we have different areas we cover in total, which is I think it's good. But it is important to not just for your own team, but for the whole community and the whole environment you're operating in to visualize that goal for as many people as possible. So
Good.
others can also see what you're trying to do and maybe also help you on the way from different organizations and communities.
Cool.
Mm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And in terms of social entrepreneurship, sometimes after from the beginning, after a certain period of time, they feel they should quit. Because of the feedback, or maybe their idea is not feasible, or maybe some of their strategy has not been working so well for a long time. That's why sometimes the founder or the people involved with the social, especially social enterprise and social business, they feel like, and also in some kind of profit making startup and entrepreneurship, they feel they should quit their business. So have you felt that way sometime or anytime through your journey that you should feel, oh, I can't do it anymore because of the like pressure, or maybe your idea is not working, something like that?
Hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting
How do you,
question.
and also how yeah, how do you deal with pressure?
Because as I said, it's not just straightforward, easy to be an entrepreneur in general, and not a social entrepreneur either. There will be challenges, and I think if I didn't really, if I wasn't really passionate about what I'm trying to achieve, I would never have done this. I would have quit a long time ago, because that is what have helped me the most through all the challenges, because there's a lot of them. So you need to really feel like it's worth it, or it's for a purpose that you believe in. So um, I think that is what has all the times I've thought about quitting, this is what have changed my mind again. Because the thought crosses your mind when it's very difficult, and sometimes you would want to feel like giving up, but then you realize how much impact you can make, and that this goal is more important than the struggles that you have right now. So this is very important for me. And the way I deal with pressure is, well, I'm not that good at dealing with it because I work a lot. So I had to learn the hard way through having a fatigue syndrome. In 2018, I had a little setback health-wise because of it. So that made me realize that I'm not a superhuman. So you need to take care of yourself in all of this too, because there will be no company if you're not able to run it, and it's going to be very hard on your teammates too if you're not able to take care of yourself. So it's hikes in nature helps for me when it comes to getting some pressure off, and also doing some other activity where you have the sense of mastery. I do this martial art called capoeira, a Brazilian type of martial art, and that helps me a lot, just thinking about something else for a little while.
Good. And some people practice mindfulness these days, meditation.
Yeah, I've downloaded Headspace and I tested it out. It's really important.
So there is a question in the comment section. So let's get the question. So basically, it's the chairman and CEO of our organization, School of Entrepreneurship Development. He has a question: how your venture is helping people?
Ah, well, with our projects, with Smaksverkstedet and Food Jungle, the goal is to reduce social inequality of health. We try to set up a lot of after-school activities for the kids, mostly in areas with low-income families, for everybody to have an activity and something meaningful after school to participate in. Because we see that a lot, that the kids from low-income families are not able to participate in the same way, and that has a lot of impacts, not just physically, but also socially and mentally, with public health, the whole package. So it's very important for us to create those arenas for everybody to participate, but it's also, of course, an impact in the way that they learn about what food is good for you to eat, for your own health. They also often have an impact on their parents and the rest of the family, again, with what they learn with us, they bring home. So it has some effects in the family as well. And one side of it is nutrition and being able to cook for themselves these days. It's a lot of kids who are not able to cook, and they don't know how a fish look like when it's not in a square. So there's a lot of things we need to teach kids these days, but also the sustainability part of it, to know where the food comes from and what impacts how the food is grown, and how dependent we are on nature and caring for nature to be able to survive. So yeah, many thoughts here, but mainly it's both the social and the health aspect for kids and their families.
Cool. Before going to the further session, when I was listening to you, I was thinking about what we can do. Like, have you ever thought about, or you can also think about that? Can you create a kind of case studies, like you identified one social problem, and what was your idea? Uh, how did you, how have you, or how did you execute some strategies to, spread it nationwide among the children, and uh, what did you do to let them, keep up with your ideas, and, this kind of food and activities, and you how you are able to, put your idea in the policy making with NGOs and the government, and the outcome you have got so far. So, if you can do that, we believe that we can, circulate through our network. We can put a case studies through our organization, in our blog, so that people can understand. I mean, what we believe is to, we should spread the good initiatives that is happening around the world, so that, people may think, okay, we can do it also in Bangladesh. Maybe we can replicate this idea also in, maybe, say, for example, in Philippines, in Vietnam. So that what we are thinking about, bringing those initiatives as a case study, so that people can, okay, so you may face you might face some, obstacles or challenges, then rather on what you did to overcome those challenges. you know
Mm.
for example, you felt like maybe overpressure, but you felt like to quit, and what did you do to overcome that, obstacles? So that would help also. If you can think about it and give us a case study, it would be very helpful for us, and we will invite, the young generation to think about it and to do something similar to that, because it's a global, issue, that,
Yeah.
public health, the thing that what we eat and how it is going to benefit or destroy our health. So the thing is, I was thinking about that when you are talking about that this kind of case studies may help in the sector of, social business, social enterprise, and people can think about more to solve social problems in future. So I was just thinking about that. We can discuss it a bit later.
Yeah, totally. We need a lot of more social entrepreneurs out there. So if this can help
That will definitely help. How
inspiring
did
more
you,
people.
how did you, why did you took, took that social problem to solve? So that would be really amazing to know your story in a case studies way, so the business students, they can feel uh, that would be a helpful tool, that would be helpful things to learn, helpful case, because we have case studies for mostly business students, like
Mm.
how profit making organizations are doing this. But in terms of social business, social entrepreneurship, there's very little case studies like that. So I was thinking about when you were talking, I was like, oh, that can be a case study. We can put
Good idea.
yeah, it's a very good example of success. So anyway, so one of our issue is to share among our audience. Uh, you're experienced person. You have been working in the sector for more than 10 years, and you have been working with young people in your team, or maybe when you are going out, you have uh, access or experience working with them. And what do you think about, like post-pandemic situation? It's so frustrating and confusing for young generation right now. So what do you think about, fourth industrial revolution is almost knocking at our door. And in some cities, in some countries, they are also, like adopting those, artificial intelligence, machine learning. So what do you think that the young generation or students, what skills they should develop to, adapt and with the change and adapt with those technology driven revolution?
Hmm. I think still the skills you need is a lot in problem solving area, and just being curious about um, the issue, and how you can solve it, and trying to come up with different ways that this would work, because you need a few hypotheses to test before you nail it. So I think this not just the problem solving part, but the feeling that you're able to solve it. Maybe it's naivety, maybe it's confidence, I don't know, but this I see a lot in young people, and I think this is very beneficial for starting a business. And I think it was a good thing for me to start right after graduating, when I was still young and naive, because you don't see that many obstacles. You see a lot of possibilities, and that's really what we need. What we need now. So I think this is something they would need to nurture, but not be naive for too long, because there's the real world is out there as well. So these are some perspectives, maybe, not skill sets that young people need to have. But when you talk about technology, I think it's also important to look at this as a tool for creating the change you want to see, but it's not the solution in itself. So when you try to appeal to people becoming an entrepreneur, you need people from a lot of different fields, not just from business or technology. Even though the solution we need might be in technology, we need a lot of people from different backgrounds and with different experiences to come up with solutions. Because if it's only within one field that we see all the ideas come from, we're going to miss out on a lot of great ideas from different fields. I'm just going to have to quickly get my charger before I disappear. So I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. We can wait.
Sure.
So, dear audience, before our guest she's going to come back soon. So, we would like to, apart from our program, we would like to share with you that very, like the next generation, you should go for, you should chase excellence. I mean, you have to be best at what you do, so that will help you in future. So yeah, sorry, I was trying to share in the meantime that chasing excellence, that actually be very best of yourself would be helpful for your future or any given period of life.
Yeah, and the curiosity of different fields as well.
Exactly.
So you have a little bit of knowledge about a lot of things, but maybe you have a little bit more knowledge about one thing. But it's very good to have a broad perspective, because then you can
Exactly. It
also
broadens
get
their
people to
mentality and
join.
perception.
What?
It basically broadens their mentality, their perception about how they see
Yeah,
their
and you can
surroundings.
kind of attack the problem from different angles, because
Angles, yeah.
of course you're gonna
You are
want
you are a burning example. I mean, you're a living example. I'm sorry that you studied public health, but you are running a social enterprise very successfully. You combine the knowledge of public health and the business, so that to transform it into something good for the community.
Yeah, you have
And there
to
is
look at
very
this.
common characteristics I see. People who from their heart, they have the passion to work for the people, their community, to solve any social problem. They have something a very happy face. The facial expression is happy. Is it something like when you do some philanthropic work, you spiritually feel good? Is it something related to that? I mean, to see your idea is transforming lives of maybe kids, or maybe it's going to help them in future, and you see the impact in in your community. How does it feel?
It feels great. I mean, it's really important for me to know that what I spend my time doing here in life is with a purpose and it has something meaningful. And of course, people can create that sense of meaning outside of work as well. And you work as a volunteer somewhere after work, or you do it in different ways.
Exactly. That's basically what we do in the School of Entrepreneurship Development. It's nearly all of our members, we all are volunteering our time apart from our main work to, like I said in the beginning of our program, to spread the positivity, to spread the journeys and experience of people who are working in their field for a few years, more than 5 to 6 years. So that's what we are trying to do. Is like that's something, maybe some people, at least 5, 10, or more than 20 people, they will be uh, uh, awakened, and they may think about, like, oh, we can do something, and maybe we will feel happy if we do something better for the community. So we're almost at the end of our session. So our last question is that we want to know the dream. What do you dream? What do you want to do in after 10 to 20 years later?
Well, I have a lot of ambitions, but it's almost like I don't dare to dream them because there's so many possibilities. I see them everywhere. So I'm kind of ambivalent to where we want to go because there's possibilities in many directions. And I kind of feel obligated to say that I want to scale internationally, and because it's kind of like the way things go, like you want to scale and you want to reach as many people as possible with something uh, with a positive impact. So I don't know how far we're gonna go with this project internationally. I really hope that we will be able to do this at some point. But if not, just being able to inspire even more people to start up their own social businesses. I think it's as important as scaling my own, even because we do need a lot of social entrepreneurs for the future. So I don't think um, we can solve everything by being an international company. But um, yeah, maybe that's my answer.
Yeah, that's superb. And Kathrina, thank you so much for such an insightful session. We believe our audience, they enjoyed it a lot, and we wish you best of luck, and we really want you to success. And we want to, like work for that particular thing about case studies, building case studies, about social enterprises around the world. So we would love to be a part of your company as a to share the case studies among the especially people of Bangladesh, so that we can like share as much as blogs and case studies with them. So that would be really helpful, and uh, to for the young generation of Bangladesh.
That's really cool. Thank you for having
Amazing.
me.
Thank you so much, and we wish you very best of luck. Have a good
Thanks.
day.
Likewise.
Bye
See
bye.
you soon.